In a quiet farming community outside Sedalia, Missouri, an 8-year-old boy became the subject of one of the strangest medical journals ever written in America. 3 people were dead. Dozens of animals were found mutilated, and at the center of it all was a child who never cried. His name was Timothy Caldwell, and according to the only doctor who studied him, he was not disturbed. He was calculating. Missouri was still recovering from war. Farms were understaffed. Families were grieving. The Caldwell farm sat 15 miles outside town. Timothy had lost both parents before the age of 8. He was sent to live with his Uncle Thomas and Aunt Sarah. They needed help on the farm. He needed a home. To neighbors, he seemed perfect, polite, hard-working, quiet, too quiet. Dr. Samuel Harding met Timothy during a routine visit. The boy answered questions clearly, held steady eye contact, did not fidget, did not act shy. Harding later wrote, "He studied me the way I study patients." That was the first unease. The second came weeks later. 5-year-old Mary Fletcher drowned in Willow Creek. The water was shallow. Timothy found her. He described her body with unnatural precision, the angle of her limbs, the branch caught in her dress, the color of the water around her face. At the funeral, everyone wept. Timothy did not. He observed. Weeks later, Henrik Larson fell from Devil's Bluff, an experienced climber, neck broken. Timothy discovered him. Then 6-year-old Jacob Mills vanished. Days later, Timothy led searchers to an abandoned well. The boy inside was alive, barely. He died hours later. 3 deaths, 3 discoveries, all involving the same child. Still, no proof. Then the animals began dying. Chickens with necks snapped cleanly, calves strangled in impossible ways, wounds precise, methodical, educational. Dr. Harding began watching Timothy more closely, and Timothy began asking questions, strange questions. How long does it take someone to drown? Can a person survive without water for days? How do you know someone is truly dead? The tone wasn't frightened. It was curious, like a student. One afternoon, Harding followed the boy into the woods to a small cave near the Caldwell property. Inside, animal bones, improvised tools, and drawings, detailed anatomical sketches, notes beside them, time until death, reaction to injury, pain response. Some drawings were human, recognizable. Mary, Henrik, Jacob. This was not imagination. This was documentation. Harding confronted him privately. Timothy did not deny it. He did not panic. He smiled. "You won't tell anyone," he said. "Why not?" "Because no one will believe you." Pause. Let that sit. Then he added, "And because you want to see what I do next." The next morning, Harding returned with Sheriff Crawford waiting nearby. Something was wrong. The farm was silent. Inside the house, Thomas and Sarah were unconscious, drugged. Timothy had been experimenting with wild herbs. He spoke calmly, admitted everything, drowning Mary, forcing Henrik to fall, leaving Jacob in the well, just to see what would happen. Then he said something worse. "I want to know what happens when someone knows they're about to die." And he reached for a knife. Harding drew his pistol. Timothy did not run. He calculated. He had hidden multiple weapons. The boy fought with terrifying precision, targeting arteries, joints, weak points. The sheriff burst in. Timothy was subdued, 8 years old, calm, unapologetic. "You can't prove the others," he said. He was right. They couldn't. Timothy was sent to a state hospital. Doctors tried to study him. He adapted, learned to fake remorse, cried on command, smiled when needed, but secretly, he kept a coded journal, not of guilt, of planning. He was studying the hospital, studying people, preparing. Months later, Timothy disappeared. No signs of forced escape, no broken locks. He simply vanished. Dr. Harding spent the rest of his life tracking unexplained deaths across the Midwest. Accidents, children drowning, Men falling from heights, animals mutilated, always near reports of a polite young man, helpful, observant, emotionless. In his final journal entry, Harding wrote, "Timothy was not madness, he was clarity without conscience." If he survived to adulthood, then somewhere, there walked a man who understood human psychology perfectly and felt nothing at all. Do you believe a child can be born without empathy, or was something else at work? History's darkest mysteries often begin with someone who seemed completely normal. In 1867, an 8-year-old boy in Missouri was linked to 3 deaths. The doctor who studied him wrote one sentence in his journal: "He does not feel."